Hi, I'm Isaac, and I defeated Tiamat effortlessly.
And I'm Claire, and I always have bedhead.
And this is Make
Make
That
that
Game
game, where we pitch the latest
Greatest
new video game ideas.
that aren't nobody, like, we just came up with these and we're not working on them, so they're not they're not gonna get made. Hey Claire,
Yeah,
have you been gaming lately?
not really.
Oh,
Yeah, not a lot.
uh, ooh,
I
okay.
know, I
Well,
know. It's been a busy week for me, okay?
I,
I've
d- I don't
been,
know. I don't know how to proceed from you. Oh wait, no. Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, fill us in on your busy week. That's a
yeah,
good.
well, yeah. So I actually have been transitioning my day job. Shock to all listeners, this actually isn't my only job.
It
I
is
actually
my only job.
Yeah, Isaac is a full-time Make That Game podcaster.
Yeah.
Only the only stream of income for him, but I live a little bit larger, so I need
You're
some
the
more things.
breadwinner.
Yeah. Um but yeah, so I have been it is a quick transition. So I spent the last week kind of tying things up at my old job, and then um I'll be starting my new job. What is my tomorrow and what is listeners your yesterday? So
Unless
um
they listen to it not on release day.
that's true. That's true. Well, release days yesterday, you know. So I haven't had a lot of time to game. I guess the most games I've played is probably Matchington Mansion, which we did discuss on one honk and bonk of late. I started Garden Story. I picked that up for a little bit.
Oh, I honked and bonked that one before.
Yes, and that made me intrigued. And I had thought that I had started it, and it turned out I had never started it. Isaac, remind me, what game was I misinterpreting?
You you had played Anodyne,
Okay, yes, yes. And I
I
thought
believe.
that sounds right. But for some reason, I thought it was Garden Story. So when I started up Garden Story, I thought that I would even have a save file. I did not. I recognized nothing. I was like, okay, yeah, actually, I've never played this game before. So we'll see how far I get in that. I've been kind of hankering to play a little more Subnautica, but I just haven't sat down to do it. So hopefully this week will be a little slower, and I'll be able to play some more games in my free
Yeah,
time.
Subnautica seems like a game that you gotta sit down and like set some time aside for.
Right. Because otherwise, because it takes time. It takes time to build your stuff and to explore. And yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get into it. It's not just a pick it up and then put it down kind of game. But Isaac, what about you? What have you been gaming?
I also haven't actually gamed that much. I played, I bought and played Final Fantasy Origins Stranger of Paradise, which is a very weird game. Uh, the gameplay so far hasn't been offensive. Like, I haven't been revolted by it. It just doesn't feel quite right yet. So I'm hoping that I'll grow into it. I was kind of sold. Like, people talk about this game as like a Souls-like, aka, to put it in terms Claire would understand, and other listeners that aren't familiar with these things, Elden Ring like it was billed as like having a similar sort of gameplay situation. I don't feel it,
You don't
but
buy it?
I don't buy it, but I did kill Tiamat in it, so first tutorial like boss in the game. And very, very good
Oh,
stuff.
I
The
was like, why
Dragon
do I
God.
recognize that? And I'm like, oh, because we're fighting that in our D&D campaign.
Yes, yes. Tiamat's a very common enemy, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I was like, why do I know that? Awesome. All right.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Since neither of us have gamed a whole lot, I guess we could move on. Do you have any clown style review
Are you
nonsense
are you
you
talking
wanna?
about a honk and bonk?
I'm talking about a honk and bonk. Do you
Okay.
have a bonk or a honk, preferably at least three of each?
I mean, yeah. around about 3 of each. We'll see. I
Yeah.
will be honest. I'm very sleepy, and it is nighttime. This is make that game at night, which is
we love those episodes.
It's only happened one other time.
It's a special secret surprise, folks. For us, it is 8:30 p.m.
It
and
feels
it's a
like
thunderstorm.
11. I don't think you'll hear it, but if you do, that's what it is. Yeah, so I am gonna honk and bonk. I'm gonna go way back.
Oh, way back.
The beginning. And by the beginning,
Sims.
no.
Gorillas.
No, I don't think I could honk and bonk that. I think it's a perfect game.
Fair. No, we all have our perfect games. I have Yakuza, you have Gorillas.
I haven't played Gorillas since I was probably like 7 years old, so I would probably want to play it again. And I bet my dad still has the computer with it on. I bet we could make that happen. I'm not yeah, we probably could. That would be a good bonus episode. We could record like a video episode of us.
You love bonus episodes.
I want us to have bonus episodes, but we could get my dad's old computer out of the basement, hook it up, and like play some 8-bits. Just saying. Okay. Anyway, yeah, listeners, if you like that idea, let us know.
Email us.
We love it. Okay, so I am going to be all the way back to the beginning of the pandemic when Isaac and I were just starting out dating, sort of. I say sort of because like it was still early, but we also were basically living together because it was a pandemic. So things move fast. And we played a collaborative game called Knights on Bikes.
Oh, I remember this one.
Or sorry, Knights and Bikes, to be clear. Yes. So it's called Knights and Bikes. It is by Foam Sword Games, and it is awesome. So I had actually requested a collaborative game because I really like those, and I'm kind of a sore loser. So I thought
we'd been playing like Mario Kart or something, I think, right?
We played a little Mario Kart. Yeah, I think we played Super Mario Brothers too, as well.
Okay.
I mean, not Super Mario Bros. 2. We also played Super Mario Brothers. Because that's a different thing. But yeah, so I wanted a collaborative game, and Isaac had heard of this, and so we downloaded it on the Switch, and it's great. So I'm gonna honk and bonk it. But I will say, like spoiler alert, I really loved this game, and I think it spoiled me for a lot of collaborative games. Like I wish we could find more like this. So and it is a little rusty, so go easy on me, but I'm going to do my best to remember because it's been a while. But basically you live on an island, and the island is going to be like basically demolished, if I remember correctly. So there's like a whole like landlord situation.
Yes, like the people are getting pushed off the island to make room for money.
A mysterious girl like shows up on the island, and you befriend her, and so the two of you set out on an adventure to basically save the island. And it does a lot of switching back and forth between like imaginary and reality, and it's sometimes difficult to tell like what is real and what is not, what is like childhood imagination, because most of these characters are children, and what is like actually happening, like how paranormal is this story, which I liked. So I guess my first honk would be that it is collaborative, so that you both play together. And it gives you each kind of different tools, but I think of equal value, if that makes sense. So Isaac talked a little bit about in Kirby, like quote unquote girlfriend mode. And like, you don't necessarily get, I mean, Kirby's not too bad with it, but it's like, you don't always get the same level of power as like the main player. But I thought this did a really good job of each person would have different powers, but they'd all be kind of equal in strength. And so it never felt uneven. Like it felt like we both were getting cool things, and I did like no one felt more overpowered or like the leader. Like we both got to do stuff. So I thought that was really great. And then another honk to kind of the same end, but I thought the puzzles are really good, and again used collaboration in really creative ways. So like there was puzzles we needed to collaborate on.
Gotta work together.
I'm sure they had other versions because I know you can play a single player, but it did feel like part of the game was working together, and that was cool.
I believe in their sorry for interrupting,
no, go ahead.
But I believe in their single player mode the intent is that you switch back and forth between
Ooh, I feel like I wouldn't like that.
And whatever the other character's name is. I think that was the intent, is that you would use each character's power, and like they would kind of run around on their own.
Okay.
like AI controlled, except for when you swapped between them.
Got it.
I never actually played it solo, but that's what I think I remember seeing in like demo videos and stuff when I was first researching it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought so. I mean, that makes me even more, I guess, honk it for a collaborative game is that it like clearly is built to be collaborative versus built to be a single player game with like a join them in, you know?
Yeah, join them in like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing is the worst join them in I've ever seen. And I know I haven't seen that many, but that was like one of the worst player experiences I've ever had was when I was like the join them in on Animal, like absolutely
Oof.
terrible. We can talk about that on another day, but that was absolutely the worst. And I like Animal Crossing, but that was bad. It is a solo game, only solo game. But yeah, so I thought that was just wonderful. And I can't remember like specifics of controls, but I would say it was a honk that this was probably like my second game I played on the Switch at this point. So
Oh yeah.
the fact that like I don't really remember being frustrated by controls at all, and trying to learn them and figure them out. So it really like I didn't have a big learning curve in this game, which again, like I don't think it was hard. Like I think a lot of games now I can pick up easily because I've played PlayStation and I've played the Switch a lot since meeting Isaac. But this was like early days. Like we probably played this probably only knowing each other for a couple months.
Yeah.
So
And you would have been right off the trail of like Link's Awakening, which was your
I
first
think I was still
modern
playing
game.
Link's Awakening, probably.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
that might be true. Yeah.
So I think the fact that I could just pick up controls and not feel intimidated by that is always a honk.
Hmm.
Because I don't think I wouldn't say the game was like too easy,
Right. We
but
had some challenging battles.
yeah, but it was like, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm so tired, but I loved it so much. Anyway, there are a couple bonks. One of
Oh
them,
no.
one of them is that. So I do think the world itself is like absolutely beautiful, but like, and this is a kind of a problem I have in all collaborative games, but maybe it's just my eyes. But it is zoomed out quite a bit because like there's two people and you explore and you're running around, and I sometimes get confused as to who I am or where I am. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
that happening a lot, especially when we were biking like itself. And we're like biking through things and fields and things where I can't really see very well. And I'm like running into stuff because I literally don't know. And I think I'm controlling you, but I'm not. And like,
Yeah.
so sometimes that was tough. But again, I just struggle with that. Also, the game itself was kind of laggy. And Isaac, you kind of at the time mentioned why and explained it to me, and it stuck with me so that it loads a lot of game at once. So there's not a lot of loading screens, but like because it loaded all of those graphics, it's like kind of slow.
Yes. And if I remember right, it felt like it never unloaded anything, which is why we like it mostly happened once we played through like a few different areas at once.
Yes. Yeah. If we played for a long time, it would be hard.
Yeah, like we would do the docks and then like the camper area, and then when we got to the golf course, it was just like, nope, we've got too much. It's too we can't process.
Yeah. And then the final bonk is that it's called Knights and Bikes, but like the bikes aren't really part of it for a lot of it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you ride bikes, you can like soup up your bike, like you can get like cool things for your bike, but like most of the puzzles you have to get off your bike for.
If
And
not
I
all
was
of them, was there a single puzzle
well, there
for
were some where you had to figure out how to get your bike from one place to another, where like
yeah.
you would need it to get off, but you would need it again and you had to like figure it out. But like, yeah, for a game with bike in the title, I really thought we'd be biking the whole time. We don't even get bikes right away. Like
That is true. Although it does start with a big bike scene.
that's true. That's true. But still, I'm just saying, well, the bike scene is in media res because that's like the end scene.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I was like, I mean, a little more bikes, maybe a little more bikes. But again, overall, this was just a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. I wish there were more collaborative games like this because I really love collaborative gaming. And I want more of it, especially when I live with a gaming partner. But I just don't see it out there that often. So listeners, if you have awesome collaborative games that you've really enjoyed, we would love to hear it. And we will play it. I will make sure we play it. So send those in. And yeah, this was a great game. It kind of has similar vibes to Oxenfree, and I can't really don't. I mean, I guess they both take place on an island, but other than that,
Island vibes.
it's just vibes. But I mean, spooky vibes, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, it kind of has
Isaac,
that going on.
Isaac, do you have any games you're gonna honk and or bonk today?
I do. I have one specific one.
Okay.
It is Disc Room by Terry Velman.
I've never heard of this.
One, Kitty Callis and JW. So it's
Oh,
not
wow.
really by like a company. It's a bunch of, I guess, indie devs teamed up together to make this, published by Devolver Digital. And yeah, it is exactly what it sounds like. You are in a room and the room has discs and you have to dodge the discs because they're saw blades and they cut you in half.
Oh boy.
Um
That's intense.
yeah. So when before I go into the formal honks and bonks, I do just want to say that so Claire,
Yeah.
context for you.
Okay.
Kitty Callis and JW, if not either of the other two, worked on Minute, if you remember that one.
I do remember Minute.
And JW also worked on the card game with the cars
Okay.
Dust Biters.
Yeah, that we played wrong.
Yes, that we played wrong. So this is a high pedigree
Okay.
group of people,
I don't
and
know,
it really shows it in this game.
I don't know about Minute, man.
Ooh, okay. Well, we'll move on. Maybe you can honk and bonk that sometime.
Yeah,
But
that'd be good actually.
all right, first honk. So this game, by its very nature, is pretty difficult. It can be hard to dodge discs and not get cut in half, especially when there's a lot of discs. If one room's too hard for you, you almost always have several other options of rooms to try. So because it's a very large map, you can be going into one area. So it's split up into like different areas. There's like the basic disc room area. Then there's like a jungle area and like a desert area and nighttime infrared area. And if you're having too much difficulty in one area, you just go to the other area and try some other disc rooms.
I will say that like all I can think of when you're saying it is Discworld, which I know this is completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated.
It just, how can you not? How can it not pop in your head?
I agree with you, except for the fact that until you said that, it never once popped into my head somehow.
Wow. Well, sorry. Now it's there.
Second bonk. This is the exact opposite of Subnautica. Each room is very short. We are talking most of the rooms have a list of objectives for unlocking ways out of that room. So it's usually like survive 10 seconds, survive 20 seconds, survive 30 seconds. Because every room / challenge is so short, you can easily find time to just open it up and play a couple attempts. Like you don't have to set a block aside and be like, all right, gonna play disc room. Do I have 3 hours available? No, you can just say, you know what? I got to finish this coffee and disc room only requires me using the WASD/arrow keys. So coffee in one hand, game in the other hand, 5 minutes and back to work. And you can actually make decent amount of progress in that time.
It's like the TikTok of games.
Yes. The third and final honk, and this is a real subtle one. Time slows down as you are about to collide with a disc, which gives you additional time to act on your reflexes to like get out of there. So you can do things like cruise around the edge of a saw blade as it's slowly spinning towards you, or like duck between two saw blades and very carefully navigate your way through because everything slows down around you. So you have more time to do that precision movement under a lot of pressure, which I think is a really nice, really subtle little touch. But it makes the game feel so good. And if there's one thing that this team is good at, it's making a game feel good. And when I say that, so I actually don't have super experience with most of the developers besides JW, who used to be half of Lambeer, which is one of my favorite indie studios, or was. They used to be around. Every single game Lambeer has ever made has had the perfect feel
Ooh.
in its design. I cannot recommend it enough. Play Ridiculous Fishing, play
Oh,
Loop Browsers.
you talked about ridiculous fishing
I
already.
did. I did. I also stole the idea for a game to
Yeah.
pitch. Nuclear Throne, perfect game. Everybody go play it. The Bonks. The Bonks. This is a really small nitpick. This is just me being a baby, basically. But I needed to point it out. There's this one room that, as far as I can tell, the way that you solve the puzzle for it is you go to another room and you use a special power that you unlock called Absorb. So it's in the darkness area I mentioned, and the room has no light at all. And as far as I can tell, the way that you get light is you go to another room, find a disc that gives off light, absorb it, and then you have to survive long enough to absorb the disc. Then you have to die to get out of the room. You go back to the dark room, and then you have to, in the dark, find a safe place to unabsorb the disc that you absorbed to have a light source so you can see when discs are
So
attacking
you
you.
can keep it after you die?
Yeah, so this
Oh,
game, so a room doesn't end until you die in this game.
okay.
So you die a lot. You are intended to die a whole lot. And yes, apparently that was a new discovery for me, that this absorb power worked like that. And I was like, okay. So things that I absorb, I keep after death. Okay. Oh, that means I can get this light disc, go to this dark room. And even then, every time I summoned the light disc, I would, get killed within a half of a second later because things are flying around in the dark and it takes time for you to summon the new disc. And then if you successfully summon, you don't have that disc anymore. So in order to try that room again, you need to go back to a room with a light
Oh
disc,
boy.
get the light disc, die, go back to the first to the dark room. That was extremely annoying. It made me not want to attempt that room ever, because I tried it like 4 or 5 times and then I was just like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this chain of events anymore. So I moved on to a different area. So bonk, definite bonk.
Bonk
Um,
indeed.
this is bonk, but it's not too bad of a bonk. The hitbox is unclear. Sometimes I would like dodge a disc, not get cut in half when I felt like I should have. Now, the upside of that is that I don't think that I've ever died to a disc that looked like it shouldn't have killed me. So the hitbox isn't wonky in like a bad way necessarily, but just the like, yeah. Yeah, this is
Uh-huh.
so hard to articulate as a bonk because it's like purely an advantage for me, I guess, or for the player, but I don't know. I like it when games have the very clear hitbox. So the Toho series, the Toho has a little circle inside the character, and that's the only part that can actually get hit, even though the character is like magnitudes larger than the circle. Like, you always know if something hits that circle, you die. If it doesn't hit that circle, you're completely fine. So you can like plan around it, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if there is a part on the disc room character where that applies, but it's just like a character with seemingly no notable, like, this is definitely where it's going to kill you point. Maybe the discs have to connect with like the literal half point of your body because it always cuts you in half. Maybe that's what's going on there. If it hits your head, you're fine. If it hits your toes, you're fine. If it hits the core of your body, you get cut in half. But I always have to throw in bonk where it's just unclear to me personally and might be clear to dozens, if not hundreds of thousands of other people. Final bonk. You unlock abilities as you go through the game, and some of the abilities feel extremely niche to me. Like, as if they designed puzzles that needed these abilities and then like made the abilities specifically for those puzzles. Like that absorb power, I can sort of see a use for it generally because you can absorb a disc that's like about to hit you and protect yourself from it. So I guess that's sort of useful, but it seems mostly like they made a couple of challenges that require you bringing discs from other rooms into a room, and then they were like, okay, here's the absorb power to let you do that. There's also like a clone power where you can just place down copies of yourself that I have not actually found a puzzle that requires that I remember. I play this game off and on, so my memory of some things are a little hazy, but I don't think I've ever found a puzzle where I've been like, yes, clone. That's what I do. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's this one room that requires you to die without any time passing at all. And I wonder if clone interacts with time in some way. Anyways, sorry. Moving on. Yeah, there are some extremely niche abilities that just seem like they exist to solve singular / a small group of puzzles, and then you just don't do anything with them ever again because the basic dash ability is universally useful, blah, blah, blah. That's Disc Room, folks. Highly recommend. Go out and play it. I don't think it's that expensive, and I'm pretty sure, even though it's already inexpensive, it's on sale all the time on like Steam. So go get Disc Room. I highly recommend. It's a blast of a game. Blast and a half.
Blast and a half?
Yeah.
Wow.
Possibly even 2 blasts.
A whole blast and a half.
It is two blasts that have been bisected by a disc. So it's technically 4 blasts in a way, if you look. Anyways, hey, do you have a pitch for me?
Guess what? I don't really know.
Oh,
I don't really know. So, okay. Yeah.
no pitch.
I said it's been a busy week.
Yeah, I didn't have time to design a game.
No, and then today I was hoping to design. I had to drive very far to go to a bridal shower, which was very fun. And I thought I could come up with a game in the car, but then I forgot on the way there, and on the way back, I was so sleepy like I am right now.
You had to focus on the road.
I had to focus on the road. So, but I was trying to think when I got back, I was like, let's try to think. Wow, I'm really losing it.
We'll finish up soon. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Because I was like, what if I could turn one of these bridal shower games into a make that game? So we played one where you guess the amount of kisses in a jar, chocolate kisses. And I won that game. And now we have 341 kisses at our house.
The perfect amount, some would say.
Some would say that's the exact right amount. I guessed 333. So that was the closest.
Angel numbers.
Angel numbers, folks. If you know, you know. And then the other game we played, you know that game where you read a story and then the words left and right happen in the story, so you pass something around?
Nope, I've never heard of that one.
Never played that? Oh, we play it with I played it at Christmas with my aunts and uncles. So basically there's a story that's read aloud, and every time the word left is said, someone passes an item to the left. And every time right is said, someone passes an item to the right, the same item. And then at the end of the story, whoever has the item wins something. Anyway, all right, so that's another game we played. Then we played gift bingo. We wrote in our own guesses on the bingo sheet of what the bride would get. And then if, she got that, then we would check it off, and then bingo, you get a prize.
Yeah. So all of those games could be applied to video games, I think. But yeah, what's going on right now is we have apparently gone into a wedding-themed version of the rapid fire round, or not wedding, but bridal shower.
Yeah, basically.
Version.
Here's 3 options. Yeah, no, yeah. I know.
So actually, you know what? Let's save it for the rapid fire round.
Yeah, but anyway, so those are the games that I couldn't come up with games for, but it was a good time, and I did win 341 kisses.
Perfect.
Almost one for every day of the year, but
And I'm going to eat 338 of them.
No, because you're cute and you give me them.
That's true.
You just bring them to me. I was actually telling someone I was sitting with the story of how you do that too before I knew I won. I was like, oh, because just for listeners out there, a cute moment is that Isaac often will buy Hershey's Kisses and then he can give them to me, and he would put them like in my bag, like lunch bag, or like in my bags, and or just my hand, and give me little kisses. And it's very cute.
That's me.
Anyway, I think the listeners like to hear the cute stories.
Yeah, I think that's what they're here for.
Part of it. It's part of it. All right. Well, I didn't have a game pitch, but Isaac, what have you got for me? I'm sleepy. How are you gonna wake me up with this stellar game idea?
So I have a game called Heat/Wave. So it's heat and then a
Ooh.
/wave.
I think I know what this is inspired by.
And it is an action-packed platformer where you are a master swordsman criminal. And as you run through the level, you gain heat. And once you gain enough heat, you unlock your master swordsmanship power and basically summon a massive energy wave that you ride on, like a kind of, imagine like a tidal wave of energy that you are now cruising through the level on, like slashing your way through enemies. So the way that you gain heat is you just got to keep your momentum. You have to progress smoothly through the level. You can't be hit by enemies or obstacles. You can't like stop or miss any jumps. And as long as you basically keep moving smoothly, you get a constant buildup of heat. And then specifically like defeating enemies also gives you a variable amount of heat depending on how cool you do it. Like if you just do a basic sword slash and defeat them, like yes, you'll get some heat. But if you do like a series of wall jumps and then slash down, or like you defeat an enemy in such a way that they hit into another enemy and you multi-defeat enemies, you get bigger and bigger amounts of heat. So when the energy wave swells up, when you summon your energy wave that you ride around on, it's basically like an invincibility mode, and it also speeds you up, and you basically start flying through the level. It blasts through obstacles. You don't have to like jump anymore. Very little things can sort of stop you when you're in this mode, but your heat constantly goes down, and when you run out of heat, you're back to normal mode.
So it's kind of like star mode in Mario.
Yes, it's star mode in Mario, but like you can keep the star mode going infinitely just by doing things that would normally build up heat.
Now, do you get like a cool soundtrack to go with it? I'm
assuming. Oh, definitely. Yes.
Okay,
the soundtrack super picks up while you're riding the wave. But basically at the end of each level, you get like a rating and you get some form of reward, whether it's just scores or it just tells you that you did a great job or something. I haven't come up with the actual rewards, but the more time you spend riding a wave during a level, obviously the level itself is going to be easier, but also you get a better score at the end. Mm-hmm. And then, there's cool bosses that you have to fight with different mechanics that interact with things. Like maybe you have to use the wave to chase one down. Like it's moving too fast for you to catch normally. So you have to keep your wave going to keep pace with it. And if you fail your wave, you get left behind and the enemy wins and you have to retry the level. And some of them are just like maybe immune to your attacks except for when you're doing the wave. So you have to like fight a small horde of enemies that they keep summoning, build up your heat, and then unleash the wave, and then repeat that process a couple times as they like change the arena in some way to make it harder each time, or like summon different kinds of enemies. But yeah, there's a lot of different permutations you can do to make this kind of basic concept extend over the course of a lengthier game. I imagine that this is the kind of game that you would get on like the Sega Genesis, like Sonic the Hedgehog games, where you would be able to beat it in a day. Of like, it would just take like 6 to 8 hours to play through the entire thing. Yeah, that's Heat/Wave.
Heat/Wave. Well, now we know, just to share the reason I think, Isaac, you came up with this is because we've been in a Heat/Wave.
We have been in a wave, and I honestly just thought that it sounded really cool.
It does.
Like the Heat/Wave. I just put the slash in there and I was like, oh man, I can work with this.
You could do like a cool graphic where like one of the W's is also part of the slash.
Yes. Yeah,
Anyway,
there's a lot you can do with this. You can make a totally radical game.
Totally radical. I like it. I would definitely try it. I like the concept of forever star mode, honestly. It's really appealing to me. So yeah.
Thank you. I do what I can. Game designing is my passion.
I know. I'm sorry I couldn't come up with one, but we figured it's better to have an episode at all.
Yeah. I don't think people mind.
No. And if they do, I'm sorry.
Email us.
Well, all right.
Well,
let's jump right on in before I literally fall asleep in my chair.
The rapid fire round should kick a little juice in your system there. This should get the adrenaline running.
We have to, make a game in 5 minutes out of 3 random words. And that's a lot of quick thinking.
Exactly. On your feet thinking.
All right. Are you ready?
Hold on. Okay.
Ready.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. All right, here we go. The first word is complete.
Complete.
The next word is porter.
Porter? Okay.
Yep. And then series.
Porter series. Complete porter series. You are a porter who competes in the Porter Olympics, which is all about, grabbing as carrying as many bags and boxes and stuff as possible, carrying as much luggage as possible around a complicated obstacle course in as fast as the time as possible. And he who wins the Porter Olympics becomes Porter of the Year.
So I like the Porter Olympics. Where are we getting series though? Is this a series of games?
Yeah, it's a series of games. Specifically, I'm thinking of this as a races, and a group of races is called a series.
Okay, like Mario Kart.
Yes.
We got like the beach.
Exactly.
We got like the cup. Shell
or the
beach.
Series. They have it the series.
Well, it would be. I don't think it's named that on Mario Kart, but
oh, I think they call them prees or whatever. Or no, aren't they like 100cc or something?
I think that's like how difficult it is.
Oh. Anyways, the Grand Porter Olympics.
You get it, listener.
I do get it. Oh, also, listener, I hope you get it. If you don't, well, too bad. We're moving on.
It's called
the Grand Porter Olympics.
Okay, the Grand Porter Olympics. A great game.
Yeah. I think we've got it, right?
I think we've got it. Yeah, we're moving on.
All right, moving on. Good.
Oh boy, this is fun. This one's going to be good. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Biography. Cold. Season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cold makes me think we definitely need some ice mechanics, no matter what.
See, I was going to go real silly with it. And I was going to make this a cooking game without the heat.
How did you get that from biography and series?
Series is not a word. It's biography in this round.
Season.
Seasoning.
Oh.
Cold is raw.
Yeah, I thought cold season
it
takes place in the winter and you have to be a biographer. But no.
Well, biography just means it's a game about somebody.
Okay, well,
right. So we set the game up as if you are specifically playing some famous person, and like the biography is like the framing device. The game opens with a cutscene.
Is there like a game version, like a name, like a biopic for a movie, like a bio game, or like a Has anyone done that before? Like a game based on a person's life?
People do autobiographical games all the time.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Like, but that's more like a memoir, I think.
Yeah, they do like visual novels,
Like, is
but
there a game about like Albert Einstein's life? Like, I don't know.
there's really finesse. There's this game about Chopin where you play basically Chopin going through a the musician. So you play basically that musician having a fever dream about a fantasy world where music is like how they battle and stuff and cast spells
Okay, that sounds
on
dope.
their deathbed.
I want
So
to play that.
I'll see if it's got a remake on Switch. It's called Rhapsody, Rhapsodie. I think that could be a different game, but we'll look more into it later.
Yeah, we
But
don't have time for
anyways,
this. All right,
that's
so
that's a biographical
I
game
just don't
about the
know a
fever dream.
famous raw cook.
No, but we can make one up though.
Well, then it's not a biography.
What you can have biographies about fake people.
Not really. It kind of defeats the purpose that it's a fiction. That's fiction.
But so I'm just saying, like, it's a framing device, though, is all it is. Like, we just use it as a framing device. We set up the game, and it's like, grandson, did I ever tell you the time I was the greatest raw
Okay,
chef
I
in the
mean,
nation?
that's not really a biography, but like, all right.
Oh, I mean, all right. How do you want to incorporate it?
I thought, well, so I had a whole totally different game where you
All
were a
right.
biographer in the North Pole, and you had to like find clues about where this person had like gone missing.
Oh, so it's like an adventure game.
Yeah, but the reason you're out there is because you're a biographer who's studying this person who went
You're
missing.
not looking for treasure. You're just looking to solve a
Information.
mystery.
Yes. That
So
was
you
my
follow in their footsteps. I like this. This is
Okay.
a lot better than my silly idea.
I mean, I like your silly idea, but I'm confused as to your definition of biography. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. What's we got to come up with a name for this? So, actually, we do got to come up with mechanics. We got to come up with mechanics. I am thinking that it is a third person,
Yeah.
kind of 3D, not necessarily a platformer. I don't think that jumping is going to take a
No.
massive role, but there are going to be jumping challenges where you
I
have to
think
like run and jump and
I think
cross
some
gaps.
of the challenges too would be like that, like thick snow, like slowing you
Yep.
down, like ice, maybe even like a
Temperature.
Subnautica. Yeah, I was gonna say elements like temperature, like cold, searching for things, having to build like housing, maybe like kind of a Subnautica dupe almost, except I don't think it should be first person.
Yeah, I'm thinking third person for this definitely. And definitely a lot of thick snow impeding visibility. And the game is actually called Thick Snow, the North Pole store. I don't know. Just Thick Snow.
Thick. Oh yeah, I was gonna try to come up with a name, but I think we have to go with it.
Yeah.
Thick Snow, the game where you tell a story about someone lost in the snow, and it's a challenge.
Okay, well, we have 5 seconds left, so we're done.
Okay, next game.
Yes.
Da-da-da. Shortage.
Oh,
We know a lot about that
Topical.
these days. Brag. I see where this is going. And,
oh, geez.
And dozen. Oh.
Okay. You're basically the pop culture version of Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
You're a rich person. You are a rich person. You have to go to grocery stores and you have to buy.
I would say you have to have 12 of everything, right? Like
you have to grab 12 of everything in the store, which may involve fighting people who got there first to get it, and then
I think it should have an element of like the kind of how Turnip Boy makes you do like bad things.
Yes.
Where like someone will be like, but my babies are starving, and you still have to like buy the food out from under them.
Yes, 100%. 100%. That's what this game is.
I love it.
And then you just, drive away, give everyone the finger, and go to your big mansion house. But the game does end with the mansion getting stormed by the
But I do want there, before that happens, I do want there to be an element of like organizing your collection in your giant house.
Oh yeah, after every mission so you've got the grocery store gameplay where you're like fighting people and like filling your cart and protecting your cart and stuff. And then when you get home, you've got like a Tetris style mini game where you have to organize it all. So we've got things for everybody in this game about being a horrible monster.
I think it's perfect. I think let's do, even though apparently she did not say let's let them eat cake. That was someone else. Marie Antoinette, but we could say like
yeah,
like we could play off of that.
I feel like there's been some quotes around the topical shortages of our time.
Like what?
I just can't think of any off the top of my head,
Google.
But I feel
we
like
have
I've
time,
seen...
right? Because we came up with that really fast.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes and 45
quotes.
seconds.
Okay, quotes about shortage. These are just like thoughtful quotes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like there's gotta have been some
what
like political pundits
about the shortages is what I just Googled.
I know that the baby shortage, the baby formula shortage. I know people have been saying a lot about like just breastfeed, but like
yeah, we're not calling it that. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
How about this quote? It's harder to get stuff.
Yeah.
Big insight.
Oh man. Okay. I wanna play up the dozen part and call it like Dirty Dozen or something, but we have to make it clear that it's not about World War II.
Oh, I don't know why that would be about World War II. You'll have to
because there's a movie called The Dirty Dozen.
Oh,
which is
okay.
Oh,
I thought that
World
was
War
like
II movie.
a specific reference to like a war tactic that I was unaware of.
Oh, no.
Why is this the hardest part of this game? A good name. Excess inventory.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because like you already have all the stuff that you'll need in your mansion and you're just going out just to mock people
just
because you're horrible. Okay.
I was also trying to think of something toilet papery, but like I couldn't.
Yeah. What was the name that we settled on just now?
Excess inventory.
Excess inventory. Love it. 50 seconds left, folks. Nailed it. Blew it out of the park. There we go. Another rapid fire round hits the dust. We're professionals.
We are not, but maybe someday. Because professional means you get paid for it, is how I think of it.
Oh.
Yeah. And amateur means you don't.
Oh.
But folks, the more you interact and listen and share, the closer we get to being professional podcasters. So that being said, you can always tweet at us at Make That Game Pod, DM us on Instagram at Make That Game Pod, send us an email at Make That Game Podcast, and tell your friends, give us an Apple review.
At gmail.com.
Yeah.
Make That Game Podcast at gmail.com. You got to let us know that this is not, you got to let the listeners know that this is not some Yahoo Mail nonsense, Hotmail. Who do you think we are?
We're actually
we've got
netzero.net is actually where we'll be. No, Gmail. We're classy. Yeah. Send us a review on Apple Podcasts or another podcast, but I feel Apple is like the big one out there.
Google Podcasts, Spotify. Can we review on Spotify?
I don't know, but Spotify is how we owns the thing we use to publish this. So like gotta be positive to use Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all those things. We absolutely appreciate it. And you know, if you heard a game tonight that you're like, this has to exist in the world, I encourage you to go out there and make that game. And I'm gonna go to sleep.
Good night.